welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Good morning. It's 6:22 a.m. on the clock. What's up? I had to take the day to rest yesterday. We did survive the other parents' visit, but then I needed rest. So, here we are. We're going to do an energy check-in. I'm being called to share a little bit about the support that I offer. If you would like to schedule a session, I can do trauma scans whenever I'm in anyone's energy. It's very inconvenient, but that's one of my psychic abilities, is a trauma scan. So if you need any support through your shadow work or through healing the really hard stuff, I'm here to support you. I work on a sliding scale and we can barter, so I'm not too worried about that. But I would love to help if you need support. If you'd like to support or like to schedule with me, all you need to do is I'm irritated because 3 of these cards were in 4, 5, 6 of these cards were in the other time that we used this deck this week, so I'm trying to put them back, but I'm being told not to. Alright, anyway, you can just email me at ascendingwithashley@gmail.com, and I will get back to you within probably 24 hours. I mean, let's keep it so fucking for real. I'm always on my phone, so I'll probably get back to you in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But sometimes I don't. That's too fucking many. Oh, yikes. Okay, yeah, well, this is about shadow work, so that's probably why I felt called to share some of the stuff I do. I've worked with a lot of people who have been through the mental health system and who are kind of working on reclaiming their agency. So if that sounds like you, that in itself is a traumatic experience. So I've also been 5150'd. I am a peer. Been locked up against my will many times. It's not fun. So you can get through it though. I'm proof of that. We have North Node Cosmic Purpose coming out first. It's really hot still. Ooh, okay. We do have a lot of shadow aspects. I just wanted to put that out because it was the first energy. So we do have the dark night of the soul, the shadow side. So if you're new here, that just means the dark night of the soul is not just a one-night event of healing. It is the terminology, because remember, we're in like universal time frame, okay? So that's not a 24-hour period. It is more frustrating and longer and drawn out and deep, okay? So a dark night of the soul is the acknowledgement of your own shadow side. And the shadow side is a lot of different things. I don't want to give any too triggering examples, so I'm just going to speak to the energy that we have on the table. Your shadow side is any toxicity, any bound, any patterns that you keep repeating that you know you need to get out of, right? Like, self-deprecating habits. Smoking was mine. I quit about a year ago, and I never thought I would, but I did. And so I quit everything and then go back to it and then quit again. So maybe you're in that sort of space within some reunions. Whatever this toxicity patterns and bounds, like whatever that is for you, right? I just use smoking as an example. It could be porn addiction, sex addiction. It could be abuse. It could be, toxic family. expectations, obligations of others around you on your life, right? It could lead you to feel closed off, guarded, and resistant to, positive things. There's so much darkness here. But remember that the first energy is North Node cosmic purpose. So what we're talking about right now is what's keeping you from stepping into that. Okay? It's not that serious. I mean, it's very serious, but like, it's doable. It's possible. Okay? Whatever you're feeling closed off and guarded, it could be like physically. Right now you're in distance, retreat, taking a time out. Maybe you're doing self inventory to figure stuff out. Maybe you're recognizing where you need to either ask for forgiveness or forgive someone else in your life. Whenever forgiveness comes out, I always say that's not necessarily something you need to make a big podium speech about. And you don't even need to contact the person in question, but just allow yourself to move on from whatever it was to the best of your ability. I had a hard time with it this week when this man who I made a child with came to visit. I spoke my truth about how pissed I am about a couple of things that have happened in the recent past, but he took it as I don't know if he thought I was trying to get back together with him, or I don't know, but then it became just this argument about egos in front of our child, which is why I left, because I didn't want to do that shit. So sometimes shit happens, but I'm happy because I needed to speak my truth. So again, forgiveness isn't something that it's up to you. It's up to you on what that looks like for you, right? And maybe it's something that you're avoiding, or maybe that isn't about forgiveness at all. Maybe it is coming out under, I'm lining it up under cosmic purpose. So maybe you know what your purpose is, but it feels too hard, or it feels too large, or it feels too fill in the blank. And so you're avoiding it. You're avoiding the work necessary. You're avoiding your shadows. You're avoiding getting out of these toxic cycles, because maybe you have the awareness that it's toxic, but it's comfortable. It's what you know, and that's valid. Been there, done that too. All right, but that could be leading to you having some lack and doubts, lack mentality, victim mentality, constantly seeking external validation, whether it's through consumerism or through the people in your life, and that leads to limitations and fears, because a lot of people are in that space. And so when you're in that space with a bunch of other people, I often talk about crabs in a barrel, how if one crab escapes, the other crabs will pull them back down, and that's coming out underneath these toxic patterns. And the lack and doubt is coming out underneath the shadow work and the dark night. So it's an acknowledgement of you're going to remain in those cycles and in this shallow way of being, consumerism based lack mentality, victim mentality, until you integrate your shadow, right? And integrating your shadow seems scary, but I say all the time, it's really just about acknowledging your own darkness, why you are the way you are, so that you don't project that on other people. And also so that in these times we are integrating our shadow and our darkness, because we are going to need to be meeting the evil with darkness. Just because you have certain dark shadow aspects or patterns, behaviors, habits, cycles, whatever, people around you, doesn't mean you're a bad person. And that's why people avoid shadow work, mostly because of religion. We've all been told that we're sinners and bullshit like that. Nah, we've all just been through some shit, and the church uses that for control, right? So that's part of the bound. That's part of breaking free, is allowing all of the institutions that have given us these thoughts about ourselves to also fall away from our truth, right? We experienced that, but I don't believe that anymore, and that's not my truth. that's another part of integrating your shadow. So whatever aspects come out from school or home life or church or other institutions, maybe you were in juvie, I don't know. It doesn't make you a bad person. That's one thing that you went through. It wasn't the end of your road. It was just a place of learning. Because struggle is learning, challenges is a learning, right? I hope that helps to clear up any confusion or illusions about this process, right? Because again, the first energy is our cosmic purpose. So staying focused on, I need to step into my purpose, but I feel like there's so much darkness on this table within these cards, especially these three right together. So whatever fears and stuff you have, integrating your shadow is doing inventory, and I've done a lot of playlists for that. I would recommend going to the Daily Decolonizing playlist. I did a whole series of shorts in the fall for everyone. And I believe that decolonizing and shadow work and healing your inner child is all the same stuff. Maybe it's more like a Venn diagram of like overlapping themes, but whatever happened to you in childhood led to the other things, right? It's like a domino effect. So like something really gnarly happened to you as a child that put you in all of these cycles of abuse, habitual behaviors and stuff like that. So, now you're, however old you are, and you're still working from that space of being a hurt or harmed little child. So go ahead and check out the Chasing Nostalgia playlist as well. There's not a lot over there. I could do more around that, but I really feel like if you were to do the integration work or the inventory, so we take inventory by being curious about our shadow, being curious about why we're doing certain things. When I quit smoking, I was like, I'm doing this to myself. I'm silencing myself by smoking because I've been encouraged to keep silent by the people around me. And once I understood the psychology around why I was doing something, it was easier for me to break the habit. So that's what shadow work and inventory is. Again, I've already made the playlists. You just have to go watch them. And the Daily Decolonizing shorts. I also did upload those in a different way using the zine, and those are called shadow work. I think those are under the Integrating Shadow Work playlist. I don't think I put them under Daily Decolonizing. But anyway, there's lots of playlists over here. What I would recommend if you are going to be doing that integration, also balance it with one of the more positive playlists. Right now I'm doing a whole lot of those projects at once. The insightful, what did I call this shit? Inspirational insight. We went through all of these cards, and that would be a good one to kind of, after you do some inventory, then go watch a couple of those. And again, these are all shorts projects. So, 3 minutes a day, you can chip away at your shadow. Maybe I would allow you give yourself a little bit more cushion for like processing. But 20 minutes. And remember that this stuff is a lifestyle change. Once you know these things and understand these things about yourself, you're going to be able to, like I said in the beginning, I can do trauma scans. Anytime I'm in anyone's energy, I know exactly what happened to them, or at least I'm given a few downloads of possibilities or different things that have happened to them. Because my job as a healer is to allow people to accept their shadow side, so that they can come into their totality. So I'm given these gifts of scanning. But anyway, once you understand why you're doing something, you're going to understand why other people are as well. Stop. Remember, everyone has free will. So that doesn't mean that you get on a high horse and act like you're better than everyone. But what you can do is offer compassion, empathy, and also be that lighthouse, that ripple effect for others. Remember, because once you've acknowledged it within yourself, you're going to be modeling that. You're going to be changing your behavior. You're going to be looking different. You're going to be more joyful. You're going to be able to be more balanced at any given moment. And people are going to recognize that. They're going to be like, what are you doing? please share my channel because we need other people to also do this work. All right. That was like a long commercial. Apologies. Whatever information you are getting from your dreams, maybe get a dream journal as well. That is your ancestors, guides, higher beings, more than likely giving you insight into the introspection and inventory that you're doing. Then we also have self-care energy. Also, all of the shorts that I'm doing are also on TikTok. If you'd prefer to watch it over there, they're the same thing. I upload them on TikTok because I like the formatting better, and then I put them on YouTube. So either way, whatever works for you. All right, we do have Venus and Offer. We have Reunion and Soul Ties. And we have Celebration, Gifts, and Abundance coming out. And I need to pull 3 more. So there could be a love situation here for you. Remember, on the bottom of the deck we have Present, Abundant, and Gratitude. Attitude of gratitude is a game changer. Also, doing daily affirmations to uplift yourself as you're doing this work is also important. That's how I rewired my entire brain. Okay, we've got 2 different things happening. Alright, so there could be this reunion offer coming in. It could be someone that you already know that you're incredibly attracted to, or the chemistry between the 2 of you is very hot. There could have been some sort of rejection here in that, more than likely because one or both of you still needed to work on your shadow, and also healing from whatever past heartbreak happened is what I'm seeing. It could also have been a divorce waiting on a certain time frame, some sort of commitment. The top of this card says, until death do us apart. Debt, not death. So there may be just some financial situation that this reunion and offer is waiting on. Remember, we do have abundance here. And also we have this remember awakening. So one or both of you could be in this process of soul awakening that is, again, speaking to this first energy, the cosmic purpose. I'm getting the cosmic egg right now from the Divine Feminine deck, which is the it's the allowance of divine time. It's recognizing that if you rush something that's not ready to be in this physical reality, it will not be able to sustain itself. So don't rush this process. Again, it's a lifestyle change. All you really need to do is commit to doing this and then follow through. It's not a one-night thing. It's not something to be like, oh yeah, that happened to me, I healed already, I accept it, whatever. Because that's not an integration. That's an acknowledgement, which is great and a great start. But an integration is really this healing aspect of like, it's part of who I am because it changed me. And that doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you your abuser. It doesn't make you whatever. But it's this integration of, that wasn't my choice, but it happened. And how I move forward from what happened is my choice, right? That's the healing. If you want to stay in those cycles, that's up to you. If you are on my channel, that's not what we do. It's time to Stay Together for the Kids by Blink-182 is coming up. So this could have to do, I already mentioned divorce. I'm going to change it. I love that song. But there's some sort of contractual agreement that probably needs to break so that this unity with someone who's more balanced can come in, especially if it's a soul tie. My personal belief is that we all have different soulmates, different soul family. We've got truth and expression at the bottom of the deck, so don't be afraid to express your truth. Again, You don't need to get up on a podium. You don't need to make this super public. You don't even need to do it online. You can grab a journal, like old school. You could take notes in your notepad. You know, you could channel through some art, like say you do, I'm getting that claymation, like Gumby. Maybe you want to make like clay about what happened to you. I think the most important part with healing our shadow work, or doing our shadow work and healing our trauma, is to do it from a space of innocence, which is why I do a lot of artwork with kids in the community, my own included, and me. Anytime I'm feeling too bogged down by this reality, I turn to art. In fact, make art is my shirt. I feel like it doesn't have to be clay, right? That's just what I'm getting. And a lot of you probably don't even know who Gumby is. But anyway, you know, maybe doing felt or something with your hands, something that turns into something tangible, even if it's just like scribbling or drawing. Let your body get it out. That's part of the healing process. Yeah, and I'm available again. Sliding scale, Amway barter. I'm gonna pull it because it's right on the top of the deck, and I know which card it is because of this. Have the courage to change. It's the only card that has this crease. Mr. Hootie agrees. He just grabbed my hand. So, have the courage to change. And again, this isn't going to be something that happens overnight. Don't wear yourself out with it. This isn't a capitalist frame. It's something that we are going to do every day a little bit. I already talked to you about how long it takes. When I first started my shadow work, I had like a legal pad, and I just wrote questions. It was really around my anti-racist work within being in a interracial marriage. I wrote a lot of questions, and it helped me clear a lot of generational and ancestral bullshit from my lineage, my colonial lineage. So if you're white or have colonial lineage, that's also a part of shadow work. Decolonizing, shadow work, inner child healing all go together. Alright? Again, you can email me if you need some support. Have a good one.